Shakur Stevenson, the greatest fighter I've ever seen. Beautiful style,
yes,
great technique, has the punching power, has the chin.
Well, surprisingly enough, leading up to Shakur versus Floyd Schofield fight, Shakur is so badass with it. His fear reputation is so fearsome to the point where it's disrupting the boxing space and is vacuuming all of the hope from his opponent's teams. When Floyd Schofield signed the contract to fight Shakur, Oscar came out stating that Floyd Schofield wasn't ready and he was against this decision because he don't want to see his fighter get beat. And now today, Hopkins came out doing the same. Hopkins stated that he believes Shakur beats Floyd Schofield just like Oscar De La Hoya did. Check it out.
But I don't think nobody actually wants to fight Shakur. Shakur is vulnerable, just like every fighter is vulnerable when they step in that ring. But I think it was more of the maturity of where they at in their career and based on their performances, is that I evaluate the last fight, the last two fights, and possibly the last three fights. And then I look at, okay, he's going up against XYZ. Is it too much of a knowledge and understanding, a barrier or distance between both guys? And I really still believe that. Then one day I might say, I don't agree, or I don't think right now. And that's men.
In other news, Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda was all set to happen until William injured his hand while fighting Tevin Farmer last weekend. So you would naturally think Shakur would start targeting, I don't know, a Frank Martin or a Murataya, some other world champion, right? No. Shakur and Lone Samedi made an offer to my 22-year-old prospect, Kid Austin, who has no world championship experience.
Come on, man.
This is exactly what I mean when I say Eddie doesn't know how to build a career. Look, Bob Arum built Shakur Stevenson to become a world champion. And in his first fight with Matthew, you actually want to put him in with a prospect, Eddie?
Come on now, dog.
I didn't think it could get any lower for you, but it does.
All of that is cool, but here's the problem. They want to use when Floyd Schofield loses to Shakur, oh, he wasn't ready excuse. They're going to say, oh, the same thing happened to Canelo when he fought Floyd. But we all know it don't matter at what stage Canelo fought Floyd. Floyd will always beat Canelo since he's a million times better than Canelo. In fact, the worst version of Floyd, the grandpa version of Floyd, who had to move up in weight at an old age of 36 years old, already beat Canelo Alvarez, not just 12 rounds to none. Floyd beat Canelo every 10 seconds of that fight. Floyd had a lot of dominant performances over the course of his career, and that fight in particular against Canelo, that was by far his most dominant performance over the course of 12 rounds, which says a lot. It speaks volumes since Floyd had a lot of dominant performances. And that version of Canelo was arguably the best version of Canelo because it was the weight bully version of Canelo. With over 43 fights as a unified champion, Canelo was also 20 pounds naturally bigger than Floyd. And he was throwing 5 to 7 punch combos, something we never see Canelo Alvarez do again. Especially not to that consistency, accuracy, and having power with every punch like he did against Floyd. Even Austin Trout, one of Canelo Alvarez's biggest wins, he stated that Canelo at 154 was at his best, in his opinion. With that being said, even then, some way, somehow, Canelo got a draw when he fought Floyd on one of the scorecards, even though Floyd beat Canelo. Not just every minute of that fight, but every 10 seconds of that fight. We all know the corruption in boxing is super real. Anyways, even though Floyd Schofield and Canelo don't compare as far as their experience when Floyd Schofield is going up against Shakur compared to Canelo when he went up against Floyd. Canelo had, like I mentioned before, 43 fights already. He had already beat the likes of Austin Trout and unified the division. So he had hell of experience. In the pros, he was already 8 years as a pro before he fought Floyd. Last but not least, Floyd had to move up a fifth division. He had to move up another weight class at 36 to his fifth weight class to fight Canelo Alvarez at his bully weight division. On the other hand, Floyd Schofield and Shakur are in the same weight class at the moment in time. Floyd is a little bit bigger than Shakur, but Shakur has way more experience, and Floyd Schofield has never fought a champion like Austin Trout and had 43 fights. Even then though, Floyd Schofield is still a good test for Shakur. I don't agree with Hopkins and Oscar basically saying that Floyd is not ready due to his experience. Just be real. Say Shakur is all of that and more, in your opinion. Oscar already said that he believes Shakur is the greatest fighter of all time. In that case, it don't matter who Shakur goes up against. According to Oscar logic, nobody beats Shakur because he's the greatest of all time. If Oscar is going to say Shakur is the greatest of all time in his eyes, then this has nothing to do with experience. Because at this point, nobody beats Shakur according to Oscar. Does experience play a factor? Duh. But did experience play a factor when Muhammad Ali fought Sonny Liston? No, it didn't. Did experience play a factor when Devin Haney fought Lomachenko? No, it didn't. Did experience play a factor when Floyd fought Hernandez at 130 pounds? No, it didn't. Because these fighters I named were the better fighters. So experience could only play a small role when a fighter is really that guy, when he's really him. Oscar is saying Shakur is him. Experience only plays a factor when there isn't a big gap in talent or skill, etc., etc., etc. If the roles are reversed and Shakur is 22 years old, on the other hand, Floyd Schofield, let's say he's 27, he has all of the experience in the world at a championship level. Who will be favored in that fight? Shakur is. Shakur will be the favorite in that fight. You know why? Because like Oscar said, in his eyes, he believes Shakur is the greatest of all time. That's why. Therefore, the reason why Oscar and Hopkins didn't want their fighter Floyd Schofield to fight Shakur is the same reason they did not want William Zabeda to fight Shakur. It's because they think Shakur is the better fighter and their fighters are gonna lose. That's why. It has nothing to do with experience. These are just excuses. Let me tell you why. If Floyd Schofield fights William Zabeda today, William Zabeda is the same age as Shakur, or probably even older. He has way more experience than Floyd Schofield. But if Floyd Schofield fights William Zabeda today, he will probably be the favorite to beat William Zabeda, and you would not hear any excuse about him being inexperienced to fight William Zabeda, who is the same age as Shakur. This is the reason why Floyd Schofield and his father gained a lot of respect in my books, just for that alone, that they believe in themselves, even though their own team doesn't. They did not hide behind their promoters. They did not allow their promoters to talk them out of it. Instead, they did the opposite. Floyd Schofield said he feels like Muhammad Ali when he went up against George Foreman. Nobody believes in him but his dad and himself. So you got to give him a lot of respect for fighting Shakur under these circumstances. Like I always said, it takes two to rumble. When fighters want to fight, nothing can stop them from fighting each other. Their promoters and everyone involved only could advise them, but they cannot make decisions for them. And this right here is even more proof. So shout out to Floyd Schofield and his father. I'm looking forward to this fight. I believe they're going to bring it. And Shakur better be ready, because these guys believe in themselves. They don't care anything about what Oscar is saying about Shakur being the greatest, which is why win, lose, or draw, I want to see Floyd Schofield back again and again and again, because this young buck deserves it. He's a young lion that wants to fight the best and test his abilities in the process. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below on Floyd Schofield, promoters Oscar and Hopkins not even pretending that their fighter, Floyd Schofield, can beat Shakur. Subscribe below and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Why looking so scared? Act like you're going to funeral. I'm the one fighting George Foreman. You didn't believe in all the stuff you've been reading about how hard he hits. George Foreman knocked down Joe Frazier. He destroyed the kid. When you get out here, if you're afraid, just smile. Just act like you're happy. I'm not going to win the fight if I went out thinking like you. Damn George Foreman.
Shakur Stevenson, the greatest fighter I've ever seen. Beautiful style,
Yes.
great technique, has the punching power, has the chin.